Hey, this is Harrison with your Faith in 5 Minutes. So before moving to South Carolina, I lived right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And during that time, I did a lot of traveling. My wife and I, the first 2 years of our marriage, we actually lived in separate states. So I made frequent trips to see her, but I was also working on some projects that required me to visit different places around the country. So as a result of weekly travel at times, but definitely at least twice a month that I was on an airport, I became very familiar with a lot of airports throughout the country and found that there were a few that were my absolute favorites. So when you fly, if you haven't had a chance to fly or fly frequently, what you'll find is that there are very few direct flights that take you from point A to point B. A lot of times you have to do a layover somewhere. And so that layover is a temporary stop where you may have as little as 30 minutes to shoot off of your plane and run down to another terminal and get on another plane. Or you may have 15 hours where you have to figure out how do you fill up that extended period of time. So when I had these layovers, I would always hope to go to certain airports or even strategically book flights that would have me do layovers in certain airports that had play areas, adult type play areas like a miniature golf course or something like that, a mall, great restaurants, things like that, so that I could be able to pass the time and have a little bit of fun while I was waiting on the next flight. Only problem was that there were a few times where I actually missed the flight because I was enjoying my layover too much. So why would I tell you this story? Of all the things that we could talk about, why would I even talk about this for a Faith in 5 Minutes? Well, it's because Jesus actually talks about this same type of behavior in Matthew 25, verses 1 through 13, when he talks about this marriage ceremony that is going to take place. And there are these 10 virgins that are supposed to take part in the marriage ceremony. Now, the thing is, they don't know when the bridegroom is going to show up. They don't know when he's going to get there and when he's going to say, okay, let's go ahead and have the ceremony. So you have 5 women who are considered wise, 5 virgins that are considered wise, and they're considered wise because they take the time to get their oil lamps all filled and ready, and they can be ready at any moment's notice. And then you have these other 5 women that are considered foolish because they decide to sort of enjoy the festivities. They're waiting around and they don't know when he's going to come, but they'll worry about it later. And so what happens is the bridegroom shows up. These 5 foolish women, as they're referred to in the Bible, they start scrambling. They're trying to figure out, how do we get ready? They turn to the 5 wise virgins and they say to them, hey, please share your oil with us. And the 5 wise virgins say, sorry, we can't do that because then we won't have enough. So these 5 foolish virgins are a lot like me when I was in these airports, sort of getting caught up in the moment, enjoying that time, and forgetting that there is something else that's coming after this that's far more important. In my case, there's a final destination that I need to reach. Now, I was lucky because if I missed the flight, I could go up to the ticket counter and I could easily say to them, I missed my flight. They could find a different flight and they'd get me there. I might get there a little bit later than I had anticipated, but I still arrived at my final destination. However, we're not given that same guarantee in this Christian walk, right? And so what I want to challenge you all to think about is that your time here on earth, this is our layover. We are here, and yes, there are opportunities for us to enjoy our friends, to enjoy the different things that are around us, but we have to be careful to not get so wrapped up into them that we're more focused on TikTok videos and video games and hanging out with our friends and sports programs and academic clubs and things that we forget that this is only a temporary stop. So I want to challenge you to take a moment to think about, where are you investing your time? What are the things that you're giving the most attention to? Are you, as a believer, really preparing for the day when the bridegroom returns, when Jesus returns and says, come home with me? Because none of us know when that moment is going to be. And we may think, well, I'm young and I'm only 13 or I'm only 15. I have my whole life ahead of me, but that's no guarantee. And so we need to be more like those 5 wise virgins who say, we have no idea when the bridegroom is coming, but we are going to prepare now so that whenever he does show up, we're ready to go with him. So my challenge to you is to continue to enjoy your teenage years, continue to enjoy life, continue to enjoy all the things around you, but don't forget that this is only a layover.